Hello everyone, welcome into another episode of the AS Roma series. We have a big one today as we begin the January transfer window. This is episode 4. So, welcome in. First things first, my name's Ash, or Bromma18, whichever you prefer. If you've missed any of the other episodes, go and check them out first. We're currently just made our way into January 2023, so there's a little bit of you to catch up on. It's been a very good season so far, as you can see, currently second in the table. We haven't played any games since we last reconvened for episode 3. That's because we have just had the World Cup break, the big long winter break, nearly 2 months off. Played a couple of friendlies in between, obviously, as the players reconvened, but other than that, nothing of note to sort of tell you about. That is at least on the pitch. Off the pitch, however, some issues, which we're going to go into shortly. But on the pitch first, let's talk about this because we've got a double header for you today. We've got Atalanta and Bologna as we really look to reconvene kind of the season. In addition, Atalanta also up there pushing for a place in the Champions League spots. They're obviously 3 points off fourth. They've got a game in hand against us, as do we. So it's a really big game. It's a tough test for us today. This is going to be a really good one. And before we do get into that, I just mentioned that we've had some issues off the pitch, so let's go through them. First things first, I did mention that we need to balance the books a little bit. We need to trim down a squad. As you can see, the financial position is getting worse every month, currently 4.5 million in the red. That's because we're obviously paying for sort of mistakes that were made in the previous regimes. You know, a lot of instalments and stuff being paid for players, some of whom aren't even here. We've also got a massive wage bill that we're trying to decrease. We've managed to do that. We've decreased it by 300,000, which I'll talk about very shortly, but we need to do that even more. Probably need to make a sale or two as well. With regards to outgoings, as you'll see, a couple of moves here. We've sold Stefan El Shaarawy to El Ain for 2.5 million. Now, we did speak about this. He was on £92,000 a week, so we really need to trim him down. He wasn't really getting much game time for us. So, you know, we managed to get rid of him and also get a little bit of money for him. Not that it's actually done very much. We've also sold Nemanja Matic. His contract was running out at the end of the season. Juventus, out of the blue, came in with an offer for him. A very Juventus signing, I'll be honest with you, isn't it? That kind of old, sluggish midfielder. That's very Juventus' street. So, at 34 years old, we managed to get 500,000 for him and get him off the wage bill as well. We've also signed Eduardo Bove. Disappointing because, you know, his potential isn't very good on this game. As you can see here, it's only, 2.5 to 3 stars. So, you know, I feel he's a little bit underrated on this game. But as a result, he doesn't really have what it takes going forward, to make an imprint on this team. So we did sell him to Atalanta, 2.2 million plus a future fee as well, should he be sold again. So that's very important. However, there are more issues. You'll see that a lot of my team are wanted, which is irregular for Football Manager, but it seems to be having more an effect on me at the moment than what it does in other saves because, well, we've had a couple of bids. One of those was for Nicolo Zaniolo, 40 million. He also approached me saying that he wants off and he wants to consider his options at the end of his contract. His contract expires next season in 2024. I tried to persuade him. He wasn't having it. And so Newcastle came with a bid. I negotiated it up to 40 million, as you can see. And I have accepted that, but I don't really know. I don't know what to do. He's currently in talks with them. There's some other teams interested as well. So we'll see if we get a higher offer. I don't want to sell him. You know, I'm really put out. You know, I nurtured him. I nursed him back to full health. I, gave him everything he needed. Managed to integrate him back into the team. Got him flying. He's flying. His form is brilliant. And, all of a sudden he says he wants out. That is just a disappointment. He's not the only one. Gianluca Mancini had some offers for him. Did reject them. He said he wanted a higher wage. So I did offer him one, but it wasn't enough in the contract talks. We're going to go through here and see if we can kind of get him back now. Having a talk to the agent, let's say, I feel you're impatient, scuppered Mancini's contract talks this time around. I'm willing to discuss again. I feel I was more than fair. I'm not interested in resuming talks with you. I don't want to have to beg you to talk terms, but I will if necessary. I'm not interested in restarting talks right now. So there you go. He isn't going to be happy. He isn't the only one, because as you'll see here, we've had an offer for Chris Smalling from Newcastle again, who've also bid for Zaniolo. They're just flexing their financial muscle, aren't they, at the moment? And it's for 9 million, which is a lot for a 33-year-old. He says he may become and settled if he's not allowed to speak to Newcastle. Again, like, I wasn't really looking to sell him. He's playing quite well, fairly well. You know, other than a couple of hiccups. You know, he's been instrumental in his defence. So, but if I reject, is he going to be unhappy? And as one of the leaders in the dressing room as well, is that going to be an issue? Again, he's also 33. Are we naive to reject 9 million for a 33-year-old? I don't know. So I'm going to think about it across the course of this Atalanta game now and see where it takes us. Obviously, there is the added hiccup of the financial situation as well. We do need to bring some money in, not only for the fact that to make it more healthier, to give us some room in the transfer market, but also because if you have a look at the promises, I did promise Giorgio Scalvini when he signed that we would upgrade the training facilities, and the board won't do that whilst we don't have any money. And we've only got 150 days left to do that, so time is of the essence. Kumbulla is another one. He wants to leave if we get an offer of 22 million. We haven't as of yet. Bayern did come in, but the offer was nowhere near. But he'll be a good kind of replacement for Smalling if Smalling does go. So he'd be like for like and younger, still able to grow. So, you know, I'd like to keep him as well. It's not all bad news though. We've made one or two moves in the transfer market. One is Marco Carnesecchi, a goalkeeper from Atalanta, currently on loan at Cremonese, only 22 years old. His contract expires at the end of the season, and we've managed to poach him for nothing. Do love a freebie, me. He's decent Serie A, but he has the potential to be a leading Serie A player, and if you have a look at his attributes here, I think we've got a good young keeper coming in on a free at the end of the season. He can learn under Rui Patricio, and then when Patricio does leave at the end of his contract next year, hopefully he can just slot right in. You know, I really like this signing. We've also made an offer for Filippo Terracciano. He's another one whose contract expires at the end of the season. 19 years old. Again, one for the future, but we can sign him on a free. It's a win-win situation. He's a right back. We'll play him at right wing back, of course. He's currently analysing the bid. He's got many offers, as you can see here, from a lot of teams. So whether we get him or not, it's probably going to be tough. But we'll see how that one goes. So enough of that for now. Let's get into this game. It is a big game. Really excited for it. We're going to see how it kind of plays out with some of these players. The fitness still isn't brilliant, despite the fact we have played some friendlies. Also worth mentioning, this guy is back. Gini Wijnaldum, now 32 years old. And very pleased to have him back. We'll see how that one goes. Fortunately, a couple of injuries to tell you about. One is Leonardo Spinazzola, out for a few weeks. He got injured in around December time, so he's been out for a couple of months and he won't be back until February at the very least. Paulo Dybala also out for this game as well, just a minor hiccup, but it means that he won't be able to come in for this game, so that's a disappointment, particularly when this guy here, my other deep line forward, is playing up and wants off. Speaking of which, I have decided to drop him. He's going to go onto the bench with all these issues going on behind the scenes. Belotti will come into that deep line forward role. He's been playing very well this season, although generally at the advanced forward role that Tammy is now taking up. So hopefully he can kind of adapt into that deep line forward role. So coming into this one with decent form in the league then, let's see if we can carry that up as Rui Patricio gets the first highlight underway. Malinowski, Darun. Oh, that's a lovely finish. It's a really nice finish from Martin Darun. Really disappointing that he's given so much space on the edge of the area. You know, I thought Malinowski would be the danger in that point. We're closing him down. But Darun, on the other hand, we've not set our position instructions on because I just wasn't worried about him. But maybe I should have been, as you can see here. So much space for him. Cristante just letting him go. And that's a disappointing start. Just going to switch to the more attacking system here because, as you can see at the moment, we are just not having a sniff on. Straight away, we've got highlight now. Let's see what happens with this one. Karsdorp on the right-hand side in for the injured Spinazzola. Oh, what is the centre-back doing, Mancini? He's let Duvan Zapata straight in. Dear me. Karsdorp in through Abraham. Oh, it's a save and Sportiello collects. It's off the post. There we go. Zalewski wins that ball back. He's got some space to drive into down the left-hand side. Does he opt to cross? He'll go to Pellegrini. He'll go to Cristante on the edge of the area and against his former club. Hits the woodwork. That's the second time we've hit the woodwork in this game. Just trying to look what we have subs-wise. I think Pellegrini can go into the box-to-box role. We can bring on Widge into the Mezzala position. And then I think probably Belotti to come off. Bring on Zaniolo as that deep line forward. You know, other than that, we don't really have much. We don't have a whole lot to bring on. Karsdorp, well won, through to Abraham. Ah, Abraham. Come on. It's not the best of balls from Patricio, is it? Let's face it. That was just aimless. Through to no one. Zappacosta walks past Zalewski. Zappacosta, it's saved on the rebound. And Zappacosta's there in the end. That's really disappointing. Zalewski just letting him walk through. And that is surely game, set, match. As we have a look at the replay here. Look at that. Just goes past Zalewski like he's not there at all. And they get a couple of bites at the cherry, but, you know, no one's doing much. For some reason, Mancini decides to try and control it in the area rather than just boot it away. That's cost us big time. Nice, that's good pressing. Abraham's through on goal. And we're back into it. 84 minutes. It's 2-1. Not quite over yet. Have another look here on the replay. Zaniolo and Abraham pressing really well. Sets Abraham through. He's missed a couple of brilliant chances. This time he scores. If he'd have taken another one, it wouldn't be in this situation, would we? Have we got anything left in the tank? Please. Someone. No, nothing. That is disappointing for sure. You see, these off-the-field problems, all of a sudden, it can start imploding on the pitch. It really can. And we've got to be cautious that that doesn't happen. This is why I'm really kind of worried about how it's all forming out. All of a sudden, after being so far clear of 5th place for the majority of the season, now we're only 2 points clear. And that is a big issue. So an update on more of the issues going on behind the scenes. Gianluca Mancini unhappy that we couldn't come to agreements on the contract after we rejected an offer for him. Now he wants to leave. Now, you know, I'm just going to say, put my foot down and say you're not going anywhere. And, you know, I know that he's going to be unhappy about that, but we'll see. Usually what I like to do is kind of hold them around and leave them in the sort of reserves for a bit and let them decide that I'm right in the end. But I've got a feeling this one might not turn out quite so well. So with regards to the Chris Smalling transfer, it looks like he wants to be closer to home, move back to England. So, you know, I think we're going to end up having to accept that offer. I've got a feeling it's going to be the first of many, I'll be honest with you. So let's see, this could be there could be a lot of turmoil in this January transfer window. So no rest for the wicked then. We shoot straight into this game against Bologna. A couple of changes with Mancini now playing up as well. We brought Gabbia back into the team. Smalling obviously also off, so Kumbulla comes in to centre back as well. Paulo Dybala returns from injury, so he'll come in place of Andrea Belotti. And other than that, the team is pretty much as it was. I will say we're kind of missing Spinazzola. That definitely seems to be the case at the moment. We're missing his influence down that right-hand side. We'll see what Karsdorp does. If not, then Zeki Celik will be drafted in. Right then, Dybala with his free kick down on this left-hand side. Brings it with this one in. Kumbulla's at the back post. Nods it across. Comes back out to him. Ibanez, Abraham, Pellegrini. There's the goal. Finally, the ball's bouncing around, scrambling everywhere in the 6-yard box. But Lorenzo Pellegrini stabs it home. And a good way to get off the mark finally. Kumbulla with the header originally. Ibanez is there. Abraham gets a touch on it. Finally, after deflection, it drops to Pellegrini, who can just stab it in. And it's 1-0 after 12 minutes. And we desperately needed that start. There's a ball on there. That's the ball, exactly. Well done, Kumbulla, for spotting that. Karsdorp out to Cristante. Back to Karsdorp. Dybala now. Into Abraham, and there's a header. That's a really nice goal. And Karsdorp, we challenged him before the game to step up and exert that influence that Spinazzola had been utilising so much. And finally he does. It's a really nice ball into the box, and who else but top scorer Tammy Abraham onto the end of it. What a really nice goal that is. It's a good header at the back post. 26 minutes gone. 2-0. Comes inside to Cristante. That's good work play. Karsdorp. Cristante through to Dybala. Does he get fouled there? The referee does blow for a penalty. Now we're going to go to a VAR check and find out for sure. Dybala's the one who's brought down. No penalty given. Oh. Just brought Belotti on as a quick sub here for Abraham, who was getting really tired. Speaking of the devil, he may have just won another penalty. He's going to go to another VAR check here. The last one was denied. Has Belotti got us one this time? We're about to find out. The penalty review is confirmed. The penalty is awarded. Paulo Dybala is the one who will be taking it. Can he get himself a goal? Yes, he can indeed. Really nicely placed. Sends the keeper the wrong way, and it's directly into that corner. His 5th goal of the season. He needs more in terms of his numbers and his returns, and that's a good start at the very least. 3-0 now against Bologna. Just made 4 subs here. Celik, Gagliardini, Vigna, Wijnaldum all on. Karsdorp, Zalewski, Scalvini and Pellegrini all off with the throw. Belotti wins that one. We'll lay it off to Ibanez. Good ball over to that side. A good switch to Zeki Celik. Through to Dybala. Oh my God, we've got another penalty call here. The referee's given that one again. It's Dybala who's won this one. The 3rd time this game. Are we going to get this one? It is awarded. Paulo Dybala, who wins the penalty, will take the penalty. Can he get himself a 2nd of the game? Yes, he can. Goes the same way, as does the keeper. And he sends him the wrong way yet again. Interesting, he just said Paulo Dybala had his 5th goal of the season. Now he's got his 7th goal of the season. So, don't know where the 3rd one came out there. The 6th one in the middle. But it's good nevertheless. 4-0 in the end. And there we go. Full time. It's a good win. A good way to respond to that setback against Atalanta. And the fact that Dybala can come in. And even though it's 2 penalties, nevertheless, get himself a couple of goals. That will do his confidence a world of good. And with Zaniolo, with all this issue, with him maybe going, we need him to step up big time now. And so it makes for some good reading. Our 5-point gap does return as Sassuolo actually drop points to Monza. So that is a big, big loss for them. But a big result for us indeed. We're back up to 2nd place now, just 2 points behind Inter in 1st place as well. And we've managed to level Napoli, who must have dropped points at some point because they'd just, I'm pretty sure, beaten Inter and gone top. We have a look here. Atalanta drop points to Milan. Juventus again lose. This time to Fiorentina, who have clawed themselves back into the top 4. We're still 5 points clear though. So that's how the table is looking after that full run of results. So unfortunately, Filippo Terracciano has decided to go to Inter. You know, not a fan of that move for him because I think he'd have had a much better chance of first team football here. We wanted him as that rotational piece with Spinazzola. So that's a mistake on his part for sure. But it is what it is. You know, it's tough to compete with Inter. We've also let go of Fabrizio Diaz on loan. Obviously, we've got an issue with regards to non-EU players. And obviously, we've also got Wijnaldum as well. So just until the end of the season, we've sent him on loan to Sturm Graz. As a result, he can hopefully develop, build some first team football up, and then at the end of the season, he can come back and with any luck play a role in the rotation. I saw this news item then and I thought, oh my God. But no, thankfully, just a tight calf, 1 to 3 days. Chill. So we've had an offer for Bayern, who are trying to poach all my players, as well as Newcastle. And we will just be flat out rejecting that one. It's also worth bearing in mind, he does have a buyback clause somewhere along the line from Chelsea, but thankfully they seem to be the ones who aren't really interested. So the moment is upon us. Nicolo Zaniolo. Can't believe it. I just can't believe it. I don't see why he'd want to leave. I really don't. He came into the team and he was loving. Look at 4 goals in 3 starts. You know, yeah. I thought we had something, Nicolo. You know, I thought we really had something going here. I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. Only 23 years old. He's such a good player as well. He's a really good player. Such a shame. Yeah, I guess he wanted lots of money, didn't he? So I guess we have to accept it. 40 million. You know, at the very least, I suppose. Oh, so Inter gets 6 million of it. So that's brilliant. You know, that's really great. You know, that's fantastic. You know, on the plus side, at least the financial situation looks a little bit better for now though, so there is that. So looking at it, you know, if we wanted him as a Mezzala, which we did play in there occasionally, I think we'll be okay. We got Pellegrini, we got Widge there as well. Obviously Diaz is out on loan, so there's players there really. I'm not worried about that. A little bit worried about his deep line forward role. That's where we were also playing him. You know, obviously we got Dybala there, but there is an injury risk there. Let's face it. You know, we can play Belotti there if needs be, but I would prefer him as an advanced forward. So, I don't know, maybe we go out and sign someone. I was eyeing Joaquin Correa, who I really like. He's a deep line forward or he's very good in that role. But the problem is, I mean, we can loan him in, but they want, his full wages, which is 105,000 a week, and also nearly 200k a month, which is a lot of money. Really, it's a lot of money and a bit too much. So we'll go away and see if we can find anyone to come in if we need anyone. Maybe we can find a cheaper youngster who can come in and play that rotational part. That would be really, really good. So if anyone does have any suggestions, make sure to hit me up and let me know. For the next episode, I think we might do a transfer deadline day special, just in case we can recap on what happened in the rest of the transfer window as well. We can also have that Milan game as well. We can put Sampdoria in there. Maybe there'll be a Coppa Italia 4th round game. So that'll be good. So make sure to come and join me for that one. That will be episode 5. If you've made it through to the end, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Make sure to drop a like on the video to let me know that you're enjoying it. Ring the bell to get notifications every time I upload as well. Don't forget to check out my gaming podcast. The links are down below. Talk all things video games, including the recent episode where we did speak about Football Manager 2023 as well. And check out my Patreon, lots of fantastic perks and rewards on there, so have a look, link down below. Great way to support the channel if you can afford it. On that note, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you soon.